Hello, I'm your superhero critic, and welcome to Ninja Turtles Month. We all know that come 2014, Michael Bay will destroy the Ninja Turtles franchise with his new Ninja Turtles movie. So with that being said, to honor those crime-fighting, pizza-eating reptiles that we all love, I have dedicated the month of January to the Turtles. What better way to start off than with the first movie? So sit back and enjoy. The movie begins with an overview of New York City with a female overvoice speaking of the crime that has been committed for weeks. We then see more crimes being committed at the same time until we find out the voice is actually a news report brought to us by
April O'Neil.
Oh yeah, we start the movie already meeting April O'Neil. We finally meet our heroes of the movie, the Ninja Turtles themselves, and after quickly saving April and slipping into the shadows, Raphael begins the cussing counter for a kid movie.
Let's get him in the car.
Damn. In fact, due to all the cussing that Raph does do in this movie, I'm going to need a damn counter. So start it at 1. So it's back to the sewers for the title card, and all the turtles shouting out awesome one-liners, except for Raph.
Damn!
When the turtles get to the lair, Master Splinter goes into master mode and once again teaches the turtles about secrecy and staying away from the public eye. But Raph wants to go back up to the top to retrieve his sai. So, while the other turtles are dancing, Raphael decides to go see a movie. I really doubt a trench coat and a hat is a good disguise for a turtle. While Mikey's waiting for pizza, him and Donnie get into a conversation about how life would be without Master Splinter. And the pizza man learns a lesson from Mikey himself.
Wise man say, forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Best knowledge ever. Cutting back to Raph, we see Raph trying to step in to be a hero when 2 kids try to steal an old lady's purse. But he gets stopped by the vigilante Casey Jones. The fight eventually goes back and forth with both Casey and Raph spatting out joke after joke, but eventually Casey gets the upper hand. This, of course, pisses Raph off and leads to Raph chasing Casey across New York.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
See, I told you your costume was a piece of shit.
Come back here! I'm not finished with you! Damn!
After the fight with Casey, Raph tries to sneak back into the sewer, but is stopped by Splinter, and after a long conversation about needing to let go of his own anger, Raph is convinced that he needs to start speaking his mind to the rest of the family. Going back to April's, we see her getting a visit from her boss, telling her to drop the story on the foot, but like the April we all know and love, she refuses to back down. This conversation eventually leads to them arguing over her bosses.
I wonder where the hell he got those things anyway.
You clearly didn't watch your son in the beginning of the movie. The movie then cuts back and forth from both the turtles and a shadow figure, both watching the interview being inducted to the chief of police by April herself.
Because a few immigrants are reminded of something that supposedly happened years ago in Japan.
Last I checked, that was your job.
Are you trying to tell me how to do my job?
Down in the subway, April gets ambushed by the Foot to stay out of their business, and is eventually saved by Raph. Raph then takes her to the sewer to get her back to health, despite all the arguments from the rest of the turtles. She then wakes up with an ear-popping scream. Ah! Thank you! I will never be able to hear again. After April finally calms down and realizes she's not dreaming, Splinter tells her and the audience the backstory of him and the turtles. What a lot of people don't know is that the movie's storyline for Splinter is actually the original comic storyline. Don't believe me? Read a comic. After they get April back home, she ends up saying the magic words for the turtles, and her and the turtles share some pizza and a few laughs. It was a joke. You're still a bitch. The turtles eventually head back to the sewers, but only to find out something horrible has happened. That is one pissed off turtle. The turtles try to get some help from April since their place has been ransacked, but her boss once again tries to force her away from the Foot story. While April and her boss argue, his son snoops around April's place while the turtles have to continue disappearing. I swear that is the nosiest kid on the planet. If I saw him snooping around my house like that, I'd punch him in the face. After Danny and his father have a fight, Danny runs and heads towards every teenager's dream place to hang out, where they can do what they want, when they want, from skating to poker to... Finally, after a short training session with the man known as Tatsu, we finally get to meet the main villain of the Turtles franchise, the one and only Shredder, who promises all the kids he can be what they desire the most.
This is your family. I am your father.
The movie jumps to another news report the Turtles are watching, and Leo and Raph get into an argument about what to do about the Foot. Raph eventually leaves and heads up to the roof to blow off steam.
Ninja kick the damn rabbit! Do something!
While Raph starts fighting an ambush from the Foot, April starts a tour of the antique shop, and the tour goes really well until...
We'll be back any minute.
So we finally get the fight we've been waiting for, the Turtles versus the Foot. And of course, because they are the heroes at first, the Turtles are winning the battle until...
I'm not sure if this is, structurally speaking, such a good time for your, buddies to drop in.
Looks like the Foot is really falling for the Turtles. Okay, so that joke sucked. Bite me! With the Turtles outnumbered, they quickly start to lose the battle until the savior of the day, Casey Jones, shows up to help. During the battle, a couple of the Foot end up axing electrical lines and the place starts to go up in flames. The Turtles barely have enough time to get out, and April's boss ends up leaving a message on her answering machine.
Fired, April. I'm sorry. I know this comes as a blow.
You say that again, Chuck.
Oh, so Casey could get away with a corny joke, but I can't? Enraged that the Foot failed to capture the turtle, Shredder tries to get more information out of Splinter. Tatsu then has a huge temper tantrum.
Mr. Tatsu, stop! Please, please, stop! No!
That guy needs some anger management. Danny pays a visit to Splinter for the first time, and they have a conversation about having a family and the typical son, I hate my father type crap. For a lengthy amount of time, April, Casey, and the Turtles make refuge at a house in the woods, with April narrating the entire set of scenes. To me, it's just a way to make some filler scenes, and eventually, after a long time of filler, Raphael finally wakes up and the Turtles are four once again. It's just so touching. After Shredder heads towards his past, we get a miniature training montage, and Leonardo wants the rest of the Turtles to help him spiritually contact Splinter. Once it finally works, Splinter tells his son of how proud he really is of them and that it's finally time to end the Foot once and for all.
What is it?
It's time to go back.
When they get back to the sewers, we find out that Danny had been camping out in their home for a while. Casey soon follows Danny after he slips out into the night, and as Danny goes into speaking with Splinter again, we get more backstory, this time on Splinter himself. And now the moment we have all been waiting for. It's the final showdown! Due to Danny's slight betrayal, the Foot heads straight to the sewers, so instead they bring the battle to them and quickly rid the sewers of the Foot. Going back to the Foot headquarters, Casey ends up fighting with Tatsu in order to save Splinter, and eventually leads to Casey pulling out a secret weapon. Let's see Tiger Woods make that hole in one. After the foot runs away, the fight is then taken to the roof where the turtles finally meet face to face with the Shredder. And after they continue to get their asses kicked, the only way they get close to winning is when Splinter comes and saves the day. Finally, the epic showdown between Splinter and Shredder. So the movie then ends very quickly. Shredder's put into the garbage truck, the kids turn themselves in, Casey gets the girl, and we end the movie on Splinter saying his only joke of the entire movie. And the Turtles' most recognizable catchphrase.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Huh?
So, anticlimactic ending aside, I believe this movie will forever be 10 times better than anything that Michael Bay could ever put together relating to the Turtles. So, with that aside, join me next week when we dive into the secret of the ooze. I'm your superhero critic. I stay super, so you stay awesome. Hello! I'm your superhero critic, and welcome to Ninja Turtles Month Part 2. So without further ado, let's just dive right into the secret of the ooze. The movie opens with a zoom in on New York with one of my favorite movie opening tracks and random clips of people scarfing down pizza. In fact, I actually believe you could take any random clip of somebody eating a slice of pizza and it would fit into this opening credit scene. Here, let me show you. See, told you. We meet one of the main characters for this movie, Keno, who has a failed attempt at picking up chicks.
Which one of you lucky girls gets a ride with me tonight?
Dream on, dweeb.
Yeah, okay. But when I do, I'll dream of something a little thinner.
Ooh, good comeback, Keno. Hey, our delivery boy has turned criminal with unneeded curiosity. Through his curiosity, Keno finds a group of thieves robbing a store. Quickly, he gets into a fight.
Stay down! Did I mention I study martial arts?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, Keno. More thieves come out, and the turtles come running down the stairs to help save the day. One thing I want to say about this movie is that due to all of the cussing and the violence of the first movie, we got butthurt parents who did not want as much cussing or violence in the movie, so instead of actual weapon usage throughout the movie, we get fights with belts, yo-yos, and sausages. Thank you. Thank you for ruining it. After the opening battle, we get a quick meeting of Keno being told by the Turtles to call the police, and by the time he actually gets back, the Turtles have already tied up all the thieves and even steal his pizzas. Oh, they didn't even leave a tip. April comes home, and after almost losing her groceries due to a scare by Michelangelo's property, she then cleans up after everybody.
Michelangelo. The rat is the cleanest one.
The fact that the rat is actually the cleanest one is kind of actually sad. As April goes upstairs, the Turtles come home and they once again have crappy one-liners.
Muy primo, bros! Turtle Rebecca! Max Mundo! Acapella!
After a game of pizza football, the Turtles and April have a conversation about whether or not the Turtles have a new place yet. The Turtles stating it's hard to go back to the sewers when the entire foot knows where their old lair is. Raph then gives a quick synopsis of the ending of the first movie.
I have Kena right into the back of a garbage truck! Ah!
After Splinter comes down, the group has a talk about moving forward and moving on with their lives. but it also forwards the plot to the movie.
He's back.
We then go to a junkyard where Captain Angry Pants himself, Tatsu, declares himself leader and that for anyone who challenges to step forward.
I challenge.
You, sir, have been downgraded.
The scene jumps to April conducting an interview with the lead professor of a company called TGRI. We learn that they have some sort of hidden agenda. We also meet April's new intern, Freddy, who follows the TGR guys into a field and picks up a mutated flower.
Dandelions. That is one big dandelion.
Freddy takes the flower back to Shredder, who at first is pissed off about it, but then an idea sparks in his head as he demands Tatsu take the foot to TGRI that night. The movie then jumps to the Turtles trying to clean up, but the surprise is spoiled when April comes home early. Splinter then demands that all of them meet him on the roof, where he then tells them that their past has come back to haunt them.
TGRI.
So you're telling me it took them 15 years to learn from their father where the ooze actually came from. Worst father ever.
The professor is abducted by Tatsu as the Turtles investigate the TGRI building. They find out that only one canister of ooze is left before Donnie ends up crashing the computer. The Foot show themselves and the two teams play keep away with the canister until eventually it turns into a football game, complete with huddles and even a chair surfing joke. But alas, the Foot eventually win, and they do their ninja vanish. The Shredder is actually very excited that the Foot have actually succeeded and orders his minions to find the most dangerous animals that they can find. Back to April's, the Turtles are packing up their stuff to get April out of harm's way, but are stopped by Kino knocking on the door. The Turtles hide, and April tries her hardest to act as if she knows martial arts.
I like to do a little chucking every now and then.
Before Kino leaves, he notices that Raph's foot is sticking out of his hiding spot. He stomps on it. Splinter once again makes somebody faint once they meet.
I think you'd better sit down.
When he comes to, Kino learns the backstory of the Turtles and tells the group that the Foot is hiring teenagers to bring more people in. Back to the junkyard, we see that Shredder is threatening the professor that the ooze better work. The Turtles bid for April farewell as they journey to the sewers to try to find a new place. Raph, of course, getting pissed off that they are looking for a place instead of looking for the Foot, ditches the rest of the Turtles. Mikey then bitches about not being able to find a place in the sewers.
Oh, you think even an idiot could find a place down here? But no!
Hey, Mikey. There's a hole.
The Turtles jump down the hole to find an old abandoned subway station, and they claim it as their own. Donnie then calls April while she's arguing with her boss to tell her that they found a place, but they can't find Raph. Back to the junkyard, it's now time for the big reveal of Shredder's mutated freaks, but what he ends up getting is not what he asked for.
They're babies!
He chose infants. Worst mistake you could ever make.
Hey, no, wait, look. They may be intellectually inferior, but...
As you can see, they do have other attributes.
Or the best mistake you could ever make.
Raph and Kino go ahead with their plan on infiltrating the Foot. So after Kino kicks ass in fighting other teenagers, Raph then decides to help Kino cheat in order to pass the second test of collecting bells off of a mannequin.
Is this enough?
I do believe that's enough.
After they get in, they quickly get caught by Tatsu, and the two have to defend themselves. While Kino gets away, Raph ends up being captured. Kino runs back to the city in order to tell April and the guys what happened. The other three Turtles then quickly make their way back to the junkyard, and after taking a couple guards, they find a tied-up Raph.
Look, it's Raph. Yeah, a little too Raph. You guys,
That joke's a little unfunny. A little too unfunny.
The turtles then spring the trap that was clearly going to happen and quickly learn that someone from their past is still alive and
The Shred Dude! No. It's him!
So the turtles are sitting ducks as the Shredder and the Foot bring the turtles over a shitload of pointy objects, and everything looks grim for the turtles until... The fight with the Foot then continues and the turtles are winning until... After a couple of failed attempts to take down Tonka and Razor from Raph and Donnie, Donnie gets thrown into the shed where the TGRI professor is being held. He quickly saves him. During the battle, Michelangelo finds a sewer behind a trash car, and the heroes make their hasty getaway and have to tell the professor their backstory.
Freak, dude! We can explain. You see...
15 years ago, you came into contact with a green colloidal gel down in a sewer which transforms you into your present state. Fantastic.
So it's the professor's fault you mutated. Good job, Professor. Good job.
Back to the lair, Donnie has a depression mode when he realizes that the ooze was all just an accident. We then jump straight to Tonka and Razor attacking the city at night. The next morning, April gets into an argument with Chief Stern because he once again can't or won't do anything to help out the city.
Stearns, there are two very dangerous things out there.
And just what exactly would you like me to do about it?
Okay, seriously, after 2 movies, I have come to the conclusion that that cop is the worst cop on the planet.
April soon learns that her intern Freddy was actually a Foot member and is told to tell the turtles that if the turtles are not at a meeting place by nightfall, Shredder will let Tonka and Razor out on the city again. And through the help of the professor, the turtles hatch a plan to make an anti-mutagen to counteract the mutation, but there's only one drawback.
You mean they have to eat it?
So the question is, how will they get them to nom nom on this disgusting concoction?
Well, I've got an idea.
Holy crap, Mikey has a plan that doesn't involve pizza.
So the turtles make good on their word and they show up at the meeting site. Of course, this was a trap for them with the Shredder, waiting with Foot in hand and Tonka and Razor. Through quick thinking, Leo and Mikey give the mutants a before-fight lunch and everything goes well until... The turtles eventually get tossed around and end up retreating into the whitest dance club in New York. As they fight the mutants, the professor gives Donatello the plan that will help speed up the reaction to the anti-mutagen. After administrating the CO2, the Foot and Tatsu decide to join the fight, and they too quickly get dispatched while Tatsu gets a taste of turtle shell. We then jump to a short scene of Kino arguing with Splinter on whether or not he should leave and join the Turtles. Back to the club, the Turtles decide to have a celebration dance-off while listening to the whitest rapper on the planet, Vanilla Ice, and his oh-so-classic ninja rap. The Shredder decides to crash the party, and Kino decides he's going to save the day by kicking the ooze out of his hand. He kidnaps a crowd member, threatening her with mutagen. That's when Mikey decides to pull out the rock and roll.
Hit it, Mikey! Rock and roll! Yeah!
That is one powerful guitar amp.
The Turtles go to investigate to make sure that Shredder is actually gone, but after a premature celebration, they find out that Shredder has actually drank the last vial of ooze. He has now become a Super Shredder, played by former wrestling star Kevin Nash. The Shredder eventually goes crazy with wanting to destroy the Turtles and does everything he can to take them down. After the Turtles show that they have survived what seemed to be impossible, Shredder is also still alive.
What? It can't be! Nobody could have survived that. No.
I didn't question on how Shredder survived the garbage truck, but now you're telling me that Super Shredder survived an entire dock falling on him?
Or not. So once again, we head back to the sewers to a very pissed off Splinter who gets the second joke on the Turtles in the franchise and giving them another funny.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go! I made another funny!
And there you have it. Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. I'm regretting this next movie. Next, I will be reviewing the movie that I personally feel should not be in existence. So join me next time when we go back in time with Ninja Turtles 3. I'm your superhero critic. I stay super if you stay awesome. Hello, I'm your superhero critic. When it comes to the Ninja Turtle franchise, there's one movie that stands out above all the rest. Not because it's better than any of them, but because it sucks so much cock shit that I don't even have words to fucking describe how horrible this movie really is. So, let's let everything out of the bag and join me as we go into Ninja Turtles 3. Unlike the first two movies that start with an overview of New York City, we instead get a sunrise in Japan followed by a bunch of samurais fighting over a scepter. And after a sword stuck in a tree is grabbed, we jump to a subway terminal, then quickly to the Turtles' lair. It then begins the stupidest movie opening ever. Are you fucking serious? Okay, in the first movie, we get epic one-liners that introduce the Turtles. In the second movie, we get an actual fight sequence. And the third movie, we get goddamn dancing to fucking ZZ Top. Will somebody please shut off the fucking music? Thank you, Raph. April joins the Turtles and reveals that she has gone shopping for the guys before going on vacation. When she gets to Splinter's gift, she reveals an old and dusty scepter. After blowing on it, we are faded into the past, as the samurais from the opening are shown riding in and we meet one of the main villains of the movie, the daimyo, Lord Norinaga. We are shown that one of the samurais is in fact Norinaga's son, Kenshin, who has allied himself with the resistance and has disgraced his family. We then meet the second villain of the movie, Walker, who wants to trade with Norinaga for guns. Okay, so you're telling me that A, you did not have enough money to create an actual Ninja Turtles villain, so instead we get a guy on a horse and a Japanese lord. B, we have no turtle villain in the movie. No Rat King, no Krang, no Leatherhead. Really? And C, you even pass up the opportunity to put in one of the actual samurai characters in the movie, Usagi Yojimbo. You really? You couldn't make a rabbit puppet? Fuck you, movie. Just fuck you with a ladle up your piss hole. After the argument with his father, Kenshin storms off and finds the scepter in the past. And after reading the inscription, the scepters are activated and the time-traveling switch is made. As the Turtles sit around and figure out what happened to April, Michelangelo comes to a startling conclusion.
Through time. Hold on, dudes. If April's back in feudal Japan, does that mean we, have to ride that scepter back through time to get her?
No shit, Mikey. Nah, the movie's just gonna end with you leaving April in another time zone. Back in the past, April gets accused of being a witch.
The daimyo and his court believe that you're a witch who has somehow managed to spirit away his son. Is this true?
Donnie unfortunately figures out that there's a drawback to the power of the scepter.
That switch will only work under one condition. You know what that is? Tuesdays?
Groundhog's Day?
Christmas?
It will only work if the magic travelers each have the same weight.
Damn, that was my next guess.
Alright, Casey Jones is back. Let's see if he'll crack some skulls in this movie.
When do we get together and bust some skulls?
Whoa, hold it there, Casey. You're not gonna do any head breaking this time. Sorry, guy.
Yeah.
What was that? You want to run that by me again? How come?
Cause we need somebody to stay here with Splinter in case the Time Bandit here decides to flip out.
Yeah.
If it ain't too much of an inconvenience.
Seriously? You bring Casey Jones back for the third movie just to have him watch Splinter? This movie pisses me off so much, I just want to punch a wall!
In the past, April is thrown inside of a dungeon cage. She then meets the ancestors of Casey and Splinter. In the present, the turtles activate the scepter, but when they get to the past, they realize the scepter is not in the palace, but is instead in the middle of a battle. During the mayhem, Mikey ends up getting separated from the group and then gets knocked out and abducted by the woman known as Mitsu. After the battle, the daimyo's men go back to the palace. He then finds out that his guards, who have been switched with the turtles, as well as the scepter, are both missing, and forces Walker to help his men find the guards. Both missing, and forces Walker to help his men find the guards. The turtles come to the dungeon that April's being kept at and make the rescue. Only problem is that they once again have to jump through sewers.
Oh no, not another sewer!
I'll be back.
The turtles come to a lake to clean up and relax, and April makes some minor adjustments to her outfit.
Wow, a legorama. Yeah, I'll say.
Hey, I'm allowed. I'm on vacation.
Right. Oh. Absolutely. Shwing.
Thanks for stealing a Wayne's World joke.
Really last long because the turtles get ambushed by the resistance. During the fight, we get corny joke after corny joke. Raph saves April's life from Mitsu, and Mitsu makes the startling discovery she is not fighting what she thought she was.
They are just like the other ones.
Mitsu, you can't be racist like that.
Mitsu takes the turtles to her village so they can meet up with Mikey, only to find that her village is under attack by Walker. After finally getting free during the scuffle, Mikey comes face to face with Walker, and is almost killed, but with a little help from his brothers, he runs Walker off. After the fight, one of the houses has been set on fire. Mitsu's younger brother, Yoshi, is trapped inside of it. Mikey sets his hero mode into overdrive as he charges in after him. Even though Yoshi's life was saved, he's unconscious and not breathing, so through a little CPR, Leonardo saves his life.
Okay, so the next 20 minutes of this movie, literally nothing happens. It is a waste of 20 minutes and is literally filled with nothing. So, I'm going to help you pass on this 20 minutes by telling you everything that happens within the next 20 minutes in this movie.
Walker demands gold because he's now dealing with demons instead of men. The turtles argue over how they're going to get a new scepter. Raph gives anger control lessons to Yoshi. Casey teaches the Japanese men what hockey is. Raph breaks the new scepter on accident. Turns out that Yoshi had the original scepter the entire time. Casey's ancestor kidnaps Mitsu, and the turtles rescue her from the dungeon. So the turtles have infiltrated the daimyo's place. The revolution has officially started. Leo goes head to head with the daimyo himself, and the battle ends with a brand new haircut for the daimyo and a bell imprisoning the daimyo.
Huh?
Walker shows up with his army of men with guns, and Leo tricks him into shooting him instead of getting his men to do it.
This could hurt.
Boy, do I love being a turtle.
Oh, yes, that's very clever. Oh, yes, very clever.
Walker makes a run for it, and after the turtles run after him, he tosses the scepter in the air with Mikey catching it, and it's Casey's ancestor that kills Walker with a flaming fireball.
Did Walker seriously just implode on himself? Like, seriously, they couldn't find a better effect? Let's look at that again. Yep, I was right. He implodes on himself. Good job, Turtles 3. Good job.
It's now time to get back to the present, but Raph and Mike want to stay in the past because they finally feel accepted somewhere. But after being convinced by Mitsu, April, and the rest that it'd be selfish for them to not bring Kenshin and the others back, they decide to go anyway. So the scepter's activated again, and all is good and dandy except for the fact that Mikey does not grab a hold of April in time.
Guys, we made it back to the den.
There's one thing that really confuses me. They say that these... Okay, can someone help me out here? They say the scepter works through equal mass displacement. So can someone explain how 3 turtles and April in the past equals the 5 Japanese guys? Shouldn't the scepter not work unless Mikey is in it or some other person within the 5? Logic sense makes none.
Thankfully, the movie finally ends with the 5th Japanese guy getting chased up a ladder. The switch happens, Mikey comes back, and then the movie then fails at attempting to repeat Splinter's corny joke endings.
Yo, dude! Just like Elvis in blue.
So there you have it. Ninja Turtles 3. The worst of all Ninja Turtles movies. And it took 15 years for us to dig ourselves out of that hole that Ninja Turtles 3 put us into within this franchise, movie-wise. And we don't even get live action. We get CGI. So, join me while we go into this movie. I'm your superhero critic. I stay super, so you stay awesome.